Hello again, everyone. It's great to be with you. Our gospel today is from the 5th chapter of Matthew. Jesus said, "You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how can its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything, but it is thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. People do not light a lamp and put it under a bushel basket. Rather, they put it on a lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have come not to abolish, but to fulfill. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth pass away, no one letter, no one stroke of a letter will pass from the law until all is accomplished. Therefore, whoever breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever does them and teaches them will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I tell you, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." The gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. So, anybody feeling particularly salty today? How about bright and shiny? You are the salt of the earth and the light of the world, aren't you? That's what Jesus said about you today in the gospel. Today's gospel is a small piece of what Jesus preaches in the Sermon on the Mount. He's preaching about salt and light, but we know that that's not really what he's talking about, is it? So what is he really talking about? Us, right? He's talking about you and me. Salt and light are the metaphors he uses to talk about us and our lives. And he doesn't give us much more than the metaphors. You are the salt of the earth, you are the light of the world, he says. He offers a couple of sentences of commentary on both, but that's it. He doesn't offer any detail about what he means. He doesn't give an interpretation or explanation, and he doesn't tell us how they apply to our lives. What that means, then, is that that's all for us to figure out. That's our work to do. It's as if Jesus is saying, here, take these two metaphors and go ponder them. Mull them over. Consider what they might be showing and asking about your life. Muse over them. See what they bring up in you. And that's what I want us to do with them. I want us to do the work Jesus has given us to do. You see, Jesus is inviting us to taste and see our lives, their quality, character, and impact, what's working and what's not. So I won't offer any interpretation or explanation of today's gospel, and I won't tell you what it means or how it applies to your lives. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why not, Pastor Kern? Simple. I don't know. I have no answers, but I have some great questions, and I think it's enough, at least for now, for us to follow the questions. What's Jesus getting at when he says you are the salt of the earth? What does that mean for you today? We've all tasted food and said, please pass the salt. And we've tasted food and said, I need some water. Salt seasons and flavors food, but it has to be the right amount. If there's not enough salt, the food is tasteless and bland. And if there's too much, well, we can barely swallow it. What parts of your life are well seasoned and flavorful? What parts are bland, tasteless, and need some salt? What's the salt you need? Are there parts of your life today that you can't swallow? If so, what's going on? And what are you doing about it? Now, think about salt in your relationships. In what ways are you flavoring and enhancing the lives of others? What difference are you making in the world? What relationship needs some salt? What kind? How much? Don't forget, salt can also dry things out. In what way have you and I become salty and difficult to be with? Have we left another dried out and thirsty? What parts of your life are dry and parched? What's needed? Salt is a preservative. What are you preserving these days? Is it worth preserving and keeping? What in your life today needs salting and preserving? And what needs to be let go of? Remember, however, salt can also be corrosive. What has become corrosive in your life? And in what ways have you become corrosive to others or to yourself? Roman soldiers were often paid with salt. It held value back in them days. Maybe Jesus is saying that you and I are of value. Do you recognize that about yourself and others? Are you living in a way that are worth our salt? What does that look like in each of our lives today? Are we being true to ourselves, authentic? Or are we betraying ourselves? Yes, we are the value of something we need to take ourselves with a grain of salt. The right mixture of salt and water can clean wounds, prevent infection, and promote healing. What needs healing in your life today? And what might that look like? In what ways are you tending to and healing the wounds of others? Remember, however, no one likes having salt rubbed in their wounds. Compassion is key. What would it look like to hold the pain of another and taste the salt of their tears? Not only are you the salt of the earth, but you're also the light of the world. What does it mean and look like for you to be the light of the world? If you're going to consider the light, we also have to consider the darkness. Both are realities in our lives. What and where is the light of your life today? And where and what is the darkness in your life? Think about how light makes a difference. After a few cold and gray days, we long for light and warmth. Plants turn towards the light. Recall a time when you were watching the sunlight rise over the horizon and felt something new rising in you. We turn on a light at night to push back our fears of dark. We speak of new insights and awarenesses of light having come on. And who among us hasn't spent a long dark night waiting and praying for the morning light? What difference is light making in your life today? And what difference is your light making in the life of another? In what ways are you shining the light of love, peace, mercy, forgiveness, hope, healing, compassion? And what are the bushel baskets in your life? What keeps your light from shining? What would it take to remove the bushel basket from your light? On whom are you shining your light? And from whom do you withhold your light? When have you sought the light of truth, and when have you hid it? What parts of your life are living in the light, and what parts are hiding in the shadows? Who has been a light in your life, and for whom are you a light today? What is illuminating your life, and what has left you in the dark? What parts of your life are in need of enlightenment, and in what ways are you illuminating the life and world around you? What is the darkness you struggle with, and what's the light that would make a difference? Just as with salt, sometimes there can be too much or too little light. Too little light and we can't see. Too much light and we are blinded. Either way, we're left in the dark. Consider the darkness in your life, relationships, and private thoughts. What is being asked for? How's the ambience of your life? In John's account of the gospel, Jesus says, I am the light of the world. But today he says, you are the light of the world. Maybe we're more like Jesus than we know or believe. Maybe light is how Jesus shares his life with us. Maybe there is only one light, but many lamps. Taste and see. What does your life taste like today? What does your life look like? In whatever way you might have answered my bazillion questions, in whatever way you might have applied these metaphors to your life, and whatever you taste and see, it's just information. It's not a conclusion or a final judgment. It's information for you to consider. It's a starting point. It's an invitation. To taste and see opens the door to a new life, new possibilities, and new ways of being. I hope that brings meaning to your life today. I hope you can connect with what is being offered to you today. And all God's blessed people say, Amen. Have a wonderful, blessed week.